Welcome to a special edition of the Group Practice Accelerator podcast, brought to you by Polaris Healthcare Partners, where we leverage decades of healthcare and business experience to drive growth in successful group practices just like yours. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur and you're interested in building, scaling, or exiting your group practice, you've found not only the industry's leading resource for business education, but a team of trusted advisors dedicated to helping you achieve and exceed your goals. In short, the team at Polaris creates clarity, confidence, and results. I'm your host, Jamie Falasz, and the Group Practice Accelerator podcast is on the air. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again this week. As you may have caught in the intro, today's episode is a special edition, and we're going to continue our conversation about a powerful opportunity to really dig into what it means to build with intention and come at your de novo or acquisition strategy with a really defined game plan. And we're doing that in partnership with Midmark, the leader in purposeful practice and op design. And as you likely recall, we announced at the event a few months back, and we've had a handful of episodes highlighting our speakers for the event, like Sarah Stock, founder of Stock Legal, Jenny Vanderpool, who'll be guiding us on efficient design and workflow. She's a Six Sigma black belt, so she's going to be great to hear from, and check out those episodes, of course, among many others. Our own CEO, Diwakar Sinha, will be helping you construct not only a solid business plan and strategy, but also how to create maximum value and equity with your growth. And Mark Flock, our Partnership and Equity Solutions Executive, will be speaking as well, like I said, among several others. So it's a packed couple of days. And today we're going to get into that who and why. So stick with us and you'll know what to expect from our time together. And so you can get registered before seats fill up. As a reminder, Multisite Mastery Designing Growth with Confidence is scheduled for March 25th through 27th, and that's going to be at the beautiful Midmark Design Center in Versailles, Ohio. And here with me again today to dive into the event are Midmark VP of Sales Ted Kehagias and Polaris CEO Diwakar Sinha. Gentlemen, great to have you back.
Thank you, Jamie. Great to see you both.
Jamie, thank you
Yeah,
for having us.
Yeah, great to see you. So, Ted, why don't we start with you? I know we want to talk about the event in terms of why we're doing this, who should come, but let's start with our why. I'll let you kick
Absolutely.
it off with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I'm super excited to really, a lot of like-minded individuals that really have the same purpose in mind, and that's to continue to scale and grow and, provide an exceptional experience for their patients. But let me just start off by saying what this course is not about. It's not a sales event. Even though we're going to our state-of-the-art facilities in Versailles, Ohio, you will see equipment. This isn't a sales event. This is really about you, about your practice, about your practitioners, and your patients. Really about helping you achieve your goals that you have established for your enterprise. So, with that, what you will learn is, you will explore how strategic equipment planning does contribute to the long-term success in clinical environments. You will learn how to evaluate and select equipment that supports efficiency. It does enhance patient care and adapts to future needs. And this will really happen naturally through the guided discussions, as you mentioned, Jamie, the individuals that will be guiding us through the discussions and through the workshop, if you will, and using world examples. So in addition, this course will highlight how data-driven insights, which are very important, connectivity and design innovation can improve operational performance, and more importantly, even staff satisfaction.
Yeah, good points made there. And you know we're all about the data. So, Diwakar, how about you? What's your why? Why should people come to this event?
Yeah, I think beyond the lineup we have of speakers, right? I think a lot of people want to speak with like-minded people, right? That are looking to scale, go on the same journey. And I think we're just coming off one of our own events, and one of the things when I go to these different events is people want to network with people that are at the same journey, if they're doing de novos, acquisitions, and understand the challenges they're having. If it's operational, patient acquisitions, whatever their growth challenges are, right? So I think we're going to have a lot of breakouts. I think we have 10 sessions over 2 days. So
Yeah.
between those 10 sessions, we're going to have breakout sessions. So they're going to have time to converse about each of the topics, if not with the speakers, with their peers. And then in the evenings, we're going to have cocktail hours just to have those conversations. Just the ability to have that, one-on-one time with people across the country that might be at 5, 10, 25 locations that are in that same journey, I think is going to be priceless.
I agree. So if I am a business owner and I've got, let's say, 5, 7, 20 locations that I've painstakingly built, why do I want to attend this? Ted, I'll start with you.
Yeah, really, I think, one of the biggest things that we learn, and this is gonna be our 14th year that we are, presenting, a seminar similar like this, and more importantly, in the past, we've always been focused on private practice, and what we hear time and time again, I think this is no different than, the current, personas that we're really targeting is learning from previous mistakes. What are the speed bumps that this seminar will solve for? And a lot of them, come back and tell us that, wow, if I would have known this with my first practice, I really would have been able to enhance my performance, enhance my patient experience, or just, drive patient satisfaction, faster. So some of the considerations that were not explored previously will be explored this time. Secondly, really understanding how the physical layout and equipment choices and lean thinking drive operational excellence and scalable performance. That is so critical when you're talking about 3 to 15 offices that you're trying to scale and grow, and how to replicate that, how to make that more of a standard so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time.
Yeah, that's fair. And Diwakar, I've heard you speak a number of times on buy versus build. We're looking at de novo versus acquisition strategy and how that plays into all that Ted just spoke about. Can you kind of dig into a little bit of the business plan without giving away one of your kickoff sessions for the event? But how that comes into play when people are thinking of adding locations.
Yeah, just to kind of add on to, a little bit more on this, I would think when people are coming to this event, if they might be at 5 or 7 locations, one of the key takeaways, just to add on to what Ted said, they'll have is, they're doing a good job, right? They've successfully done 5 locations, 7 locations, 25 locations. Whatever their cadence is, whatever their pace is, our goal would be to help them do it better, faster, more efficiently, right? And that's probably the main goal if you're already doing that at some level, and help you get more efficient and fine tune it. If it's on a legal structure and you already at 25 locations, help you revisit that and say, okay, do I have the right legal structure at 25 locations or at 5 locations if I'm trying to get to 25 locations? Because to unwind that, if you're at 5 and trying to get to 25, that might be more expensive at that point. If you have the wrong office design, at 6 locations, you're trying to say, okay, if I want to get to 10 locations or 15, do I want to start looking at 8 or 12 location facilities? And if I want to bring in multi-specialty, what can I be doing today as far as office design as I want to expand my goal of patient experience around that? We're going to have Dr. Vivek Solanki speak around it, around how he's done de novo and scale from clinician to CEO, right? So we're going to have all these granular things as people are trying to scale, right? So again, my 30-second pitch would be, you're already doing 5 to 2 locations. You're already at 25 locations. Let's make that more efficient, smoother, faster, and give you more granular information around it. To answer your question around the business plan, we want people to understand as they're building a de novo or an acquisition and they're growing location, what building true equity means. So if you're at 10, 15, 25 locations, what does value mean for yourself? So you're not revisiting your business plan in 10 or 15 years and saying, hey, I have so many locations, yet I don't feel or realize the value the journey I started with, right? So we want them to understand that today, not only understand the other aspects of it.
That's a good point made. And, I've heard you speak on this before. Like, are you adding locations? Or are you truly adding equity, which really is the goal here? So this is a great place to workshop your plans. Thank you for bringing that up. But it brings to mind maybe the speed bumps that people run into. Even if things are going along, they're adding according to their strategic plan that they've had in place. What kind of speed bumps can they expect to solve for based on the content that this event will have? And maybe Ted, I'll start with you, and then Diwakar, same question to you.
Yeah, I think, Jamie, just like I mentioned earlier, is just really avoiding any previous mistakes that were made that maybe you just weren't aware of, and connecting with existing like-minded individuals that have gone through the process and have been able to either solve for those speed bumps or, more importantly, have overcome those speed bumps. And again, I'll just reference that the physical layout of the facility really does improve the efficiency, the productivity, and the patient experience for that practice. And if that can be replicatable, it's just easier to go from your fifth to your eighth to your 10th to your 25th building or real estate practice.
For sure. And Duaker, how about you? Because we do see some different speed bumps with clients at Polaris.
Not to get into the granular of our presentations, but we will go through on the de novo or acquisition side. What are the issues as far as timeline management, right? If you are doing a de novo and that cycle is 9 months or 6 months or 12 months, depending on the geography, how should you plan out from site selection all the way to a new office opening, right? And really envision that and do cash flow planning and how to think about developing your team. And obviously we're going to have different speakers around it and how to really stack that. And we're going to have different vendors also that are aligned with that process, right? So just to kind of think through, just that's on the de novo side. And then also on the acquisition side, if you're buying a practice, if you want to buy a practice in December of 2026, well, what do you have to do in summer of 2026, right? So, and how do you look at CapEx equipment when you're buying a practice? I don't think people think about those things. Me and Ted have known each other for a long time, and I think even in an acquisition, people need to think about CapEx equipment and how that plays into growing a business. So we're going to go through all those granular things at the event.
Yeah, certainly a lot to cover in a couple of days. Let's get a little bit more specific on the who. We talked about that group 5 to 7 locations, but let's get into what they're looking to do with that 5 to 7 locations. Ted, go right ahead.
Yeah, so I think everyone, in this group, wants to do a few things, and I'll just kind of improvise and just say that we all want to, help grow the top line. We all want to improve the bottom line, and that comes through operational performance, KPIs, and really elevating the patient experience. So for those DSOs and private practice groups that really want to, continue to perform top line and elevate that patient experience, which ultimately contributes to the bottom line. I mean, this is who it's for. And, those practices that are overseeing currently, say 3 to 15 locations and want to scale from either, they want to continue to grow their patient base and expand their physical footprint, or as, DeWalker mentioned, I call it liquidate, liquidate to a larger investor group. Again, this is truly who this seminar is for.
Yeah, and this is for the 5 to 7 locations that is looking to truly, get into the growth aspect of the business, right? And truly figure out, what is my journey going to be like over the next 5 to 7 years as I'm looking to expand my business. That's who needs to be coming to this event, even if there are 10, 15 locations. But I think the core is going to be around 5 to 10 locations as they're coming to it.
And if I'm the owner, who should I bring with me?
I think from our lens, because of the we're looking to have typically two principal partners that are in it, or a partner and an executive, right? So we're looking to have two people per business at the event.
All right. And then what about if we take a look from a tactical perspective? What can attendees expect there? Let's say I'm arriving in Dayton. What do I want to expect from my arrival through departure? Ted, I'll go
Yeah.
to you on that one.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the unique things about Midmark is, we do have facilities that really accommodate for customers that are visiting our facilities. In fact, the only thing that we ask is to get yourself to the airport, and then once you land, we will pick you up, and everything else is taken care of from there. We have a tremendous hospitality team back in Versailles. Midmark does own a very unique boutique hotel where all the attendees will be staying. So we cover everything from the rooms, from the meals, travel from the airport back to the airport. So once you're back in Versailles and on campus, we cover everything from that point forward. So nothing to really worry about. The only thing we ask of those attendees is just to let us know you're coming, secure your seat, and we'll take care of everything from that point forward.
Tell me a little bit more about the campus for people that haven't had the opportunity to visit. not just the design center, but the whole campus?
It's hard to describe in words. It's easier to describe on paper or pictures, but it's a wow effect when you arrive at the campus itself. So the campus itself is about 600,000 square feet. The majority of that is manufacturing facility. We do manufacture everything, all our equipment, medical, veterinary, and dental, on site in Versailles, Ohio. Um, we have a 150,000 square foot educational center where we're going to be hosting this event. Has setups for medical, dental, and also veterinary venues, essentially to kind of walk through to see, how different setups are set and designed, but more importantly, really to accommodate, four key points. One is we want to talk about ergonomics, and we'll go deep into that, making sure that you continue to practice dentistry for the long term. Secondly, around patient and provider safety through sterilization. Third, around performance, the quality of the product and the performance of the equipment and the viability of the equipment to be able to ensure that it continues to operate with very little downtime. And fourth, as I mentioned earlier, just the design and the overall flow of the dental practice, that it flows perfectly. So you do perfect the efficiency throughout the practice, which ultimately enhances the patient experience and the profitability at the end of the day. So very hard to describe, but certainly you will be very pleased with not only the facility itself, but also the hotel and the restaurant that's adjoining the hotel as well. The
Yeah.
family that owns Midmark, I can say, has done a tremendous job. So when we bring customers back into this really neat remote area of Northwest Ohio to make it very comfortable and very accommodating for our customers to really experience a five-star experience at the hotel and also back in our factory in our experience center.
Diwakar and I can vouch for that. It's a first class experience, and I know we're really looking forward to it. And you made a good point there. This is for healthcare groups, so not specific to dental, medical, vet, but encompassing all of them. So we want to make sure that we include, groups from all aspects, and they can all benefit from the event.
That's correct.
Diwakar, closing thoughts before we wrap up today?
Yeah, just one. I think as Ted said, the facility is amazing, right? So I think if you come, I think the experience is going to be 5 star. Beyond that, I think if you come, you will have meaningful impact the way you grow. If it's de novo or acquisition, you will transform the way you execute your strategy of growth. You will have great speakers. We have, like I said, we have 10 different topics we're talking about. If you walk away with one topic that transforms the way you execute on growth strategy. So I definitely think those 2.5 days will be meaningful towards the trajectory of your business.
Well said. Well said. Well, Ted, Diwakar, so wonderful to have you both here again today to share more information about Multisite Mastery coming this March 25th through 27th. I'll go ahead and link to that in the show notes. You can take a look at the registration page. The full agenda's there with all the speakers. So take a look at that, get yourself registered before seats fill up, and we look forward to seeing you there. And to our audience, thank you again for supporting us here on the podcast. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our newsletters so you can stay up to date on events, news, and articles from Polaris. As always, if you want to connect with us here at Polaris, please reach out with questions and suggestions for topics by sending us an email to info@polarishealthcarepartners.com, or you can reach us by visiting our website at polarishealthcarepartners.com. Go up to that Contact Us button and leave us a note there. We'll get back to you right away. Thanks so much for being a loyal listener and subscriber. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a colleague and be sure to leave us a rating on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We'll see you on the next episode of the Group Practice Accelerator podcast.